Good evening, Bolts Nation. Welcome to Amalie Arena, home of your Tampa Bay Lightning. And welcome to the second annual Lightning Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Proudly presented by Dex Imaging. And now, please welcome your host, television voice of the Lightning on Bally Sports, Mr. Dave Randorf.
Good evening, Bolts Nation. It is my sincere privilege to be here tonight on this very special occasion, Hall of Fame night, in amongst the presence of our deserving honorees and their family, all the alumni and their family, and of course you, Bolts Nation, who bring the thunder to this building each and every night. And as everybody in this building tonight knows, the two men that we are going to honor tonight were cornerstones of that magical time in Lightning franchise history. 20 years ago, I was living in Canada, but believe me when I say I was definitely watching this playoff run. And like hockey fans everywhere, anywhere around the world, it was amazing to see this young team grow and ultimately reach the ultimate goal and win the first ever title here in Tampa Bay. On that amazing group, two guys that we're going to talk about tonight. You had the Warrior, the grizzled veteran, 22 seasons to that point in his career, 1,600 games, 140 more playoff games, and finally, he got to put his hands on that Stanley Cup and raise it right here in this building. Let's hear it for Dave Andreychuk. At the other end of the spectrum, you had an emerging 24-year-old star, an emerging star in the National Hockey League, a guy who was transforming himself before our very eyes, and a guy who absolutely took off during that playoff run. It takes 16 wins to win the Stanley Cup. This guy had the game-winning goal in 7 of them, and he set the standard for playoff excellence here in Tampa by winning the first ever Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP, Brad Richards. So Brad, Dave, and the players and coaches, they were tasked with winning it, but somebody had to put this whole group together. So please welcome our next guest. Currently, this gentleman is the Senior Vice President of Legal and Business Affairs for the Bolts. Before that, he built the Lightning's community hockey program, which went on to be the envy of the NHL. And before that, 20 years ago, he was the architect of the 2004 Stanley Cup champions. Please welcome the general manager, Jay Feaster.
Thank you very much, Dave. Before I start tonight, on behalf of the Lightning Organization, Vinnick Sports Group, and the Lightning Alumni Association, I want to give a big thank you to the people who have made this possible tonight. I also want to thank our CEO and Vice Chairman, Steve Griggs, for affording me the opportunity to speak with you this evening. You know, when we were celebrating winning the Stanley Cup, and before we went back and got measured for our rings, I had the opportunity to stand in front of this group in this building, in front of the players who are on the stage, and I'll spare you the volume that I used back then, but Tampa Bay, how great is this? On June 7, 2004, an incredible group of players and coaches captured the first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Tonight, about 3 months shy of 20 years, we're in the same venue to celebrate, honor, and enshrine our 2004 captain, Dave Andreychuk, and 2004 Conn Smythe Trophy winner as playoff MVP, Brad Richards. Tonight, I want to mention and recognize some of the front office executives and hockey operations staff who were part of that championship season. Without the backing and support of team president Ron Campbell I would never have been GM of the Lightning. Ron carried a lot of water for hockey ops and ran interference every day, often in ways we never knew about or understood. We do not win the Cup in 2004 without Ron Campbell's support. Ron, thank you very much. Backing Ron every day were Sean Henry, our EVP and Chief Operating Officer, and Bill Wickett. Both of those guys are with us tonight. They came in from Nashville. I still haven't forgiven them for going to Nashville, but that's for another day. And Bill, we miss you. And again, we appreciate both of you guys being here tonight. Our coaching staff was simply the best. Today, you see the head coach and at least 3 assistants crowded behind every player's bench for every NHL team. Back in 2004, we had 2 coaches behind the bench. John Tortorella, our head coach, and associate coach Greg Ramsey. John, we know that your team's in town, you have a game tomorrow night, and we are truly, all of us, honored by your presence. Tim the Toolman Taylor, who is on his way here, you heard, told his teammates before Game 7 against Calgary, quoting the late great Hockey Hall of Fame Flyers coach, Freddie Shero, "We win tonight and we walk together forever." And 20 years later, here we are, together forever. Congratulations, Andy and Richie. You both are so deserving of this honor. Thank you all for coming tonight. Enjoy the festivities. And now, please welcome the person who truly rescued this franchise in 2010. He saved Phil Esposito's baby, as Espo fondly called the Lightning, and he put us on a 14-year path of sustained excellence, truly world-class plus. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the best owner in sports, Mr. Jeff Vinik.
Thank you. It is the Tampa Bay community. It is all of us together. It's a big village. Put up a mirror. I thank all of you. It's a wonderful experience to be here. I appreciate the support, and I am thankful to everybody in the Lightning organization, our alumni, our fans, our public sector employees. I thank everybody here for the great experience I've been able to have over the last 14 years and the great experience the Lightning have had over 32 years, plus or minus 1. So thank you all for attending tonight. I want to give a special thank you. I don't know where you are, Dan Doyle, of Dex Imaging. You're the presenting sponsor tonight, and you are always a great partner with the Lightning, and we so appreciate your support. Steve Griggs, CEO of the Lightning. I talked about everybody here. I get the accolades. I've said this before, but it's everybody who puts in so much hard work here and so much loyalty and throws themselves into this Lightning organization. Steve, thank you for your dedication, for everything you do, and you are such a huge part of our success over the last 14 years. It's an honor to be here tonight. It's an honor to have been here last year when we initiated this Hall of Fame. I'm so proud that this has been able to be started under my ownership, under my leadership. And it's my honor to be able to say a few words about our incredibly worthy inductees this evening. Dave Andreychuk, you are the captain of the 2004 team, as we all know. And it was such an important ingredient, your leadership to that team. We don't win the Stanley Cup without your efforts in that year and your efforts over time. You continue, obviously, to this day to be a leader in this business with the Lightning, on TV, out with the sponsors, out in everything you do. Where are you, Dave? I can't see, so I don't even know you were. Okay, there you are, Dave. Got it. So at least I can talk to you, right? You're a leader in this organization, a leader in this community. You're still the captain, and we're so honored that to be able to, appropriately give you this Hall of Fame honor tonight. I'm proud that I'm able to be here and be the owner while that happens. So thank you, Dave, for everything that you do. Brad, we've seen the highlights again, and I love reliving them myself. And once again, we don't win the Stanley Cup in 2004 without your efforts, during those 8 weeks and during your efforts during all your years with the Lightning. Again, a leader on this team, and we are so honored, and I am so honored to be able to be here for your induction into the Hall of Fame this evening. Your accolades are historic for this franchise, and like Dave, like Marty St. Louis, like Phil Esposito, like Vinny LeCavalier, you are extremely worthy, and you should be in this Tampa Bay Lightning Hall of Fame, and we're honored that you will be inducted here this evening. You guys, alumni included, set the foundation for this Tampa Bay Lightning. You paved the way for what we have become over time. It may have taken us 16 years to get back to that moment and to lift that cup again, but it doesn't happen again with all the history and what has been accomplished and the leadership that was put in place the years before. We're all part of Lightning history. We're all part of 3 Stanley Cups. We're also proud that it's been accomplished, and we're also proud to be able to honor everyone 20 years later who contributed to that on and off the ice. And I don't even have to say the following words because I have no doubt this will be the case, but enjoy your weekend here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jeff. And as Mr. Vinnick just said and alluded to echo some of the thoughts here, in 2020 and 21, under Julien Brisebois and Coop and Hetty and Stammer and all the great players and all the great staff, we all had the privilege of experiencing firsthand back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. This group here has carried the torch, but the torch was lit 20 years ago. The alumni group that is here with us tonight, they were the first. They were the first group to invest all the blood, the sweat, the sacrifice, and they were the ones that officially put Tampa Bay on the hockey map and winning the hardest trophy to win in sports for the first ever time here in Tampa Bay. That's right. And the first time in franchise history, in this building, on a date none of us will ever forget.
I never realized how hard it was. And for athletes especially, what you did these 2 months, I'll never forget. So I just want to thank you for letting us be part of it. And whatever that happens here,
Freddie Shero and told his Flyers teams before their first cup that, you know, we win today and we walk together forever. And it's true. We will be together forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is picture time. Please welcome to the stage the 2004 Stanley Cup champion alumni with us tonight. Come on up, squeeze in. Just hold the cameras just for a sec. Sorry, one more delay. We have to add one more thing to the picture.
I almost missed the one 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, you don't want to miss this picture because, ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is, the Stanley Cup back with the 2004 Stanley Cup champs along with the Conn Smythe Trophy. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you. How cool is that? It is time now to induct our first Hall of Famer for the 2024 Hall of Fame class of the Lightning Hall of Fame. And to do the honors, please welcome a Lightning legend in his own right. His number 4 is hanging up from the rafters above us for all time. Ladies and gentlemen, a Hall of Famer himself, Vincent Lecavalier.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the Lightning. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, we lived it last year, and to have all the guys here this year, and it's almost like reliving it. And you get all the emotions, watching the videos, and to be together here on stage, and incredible. So thank you so much. So it's a privilege to be here with you again here this year. It's funny how life works. So many things have to go right over a long period of time to arrive at this moment. But to have someone to share all the ups and downs of that journey with you, especially the early steps, it just means that much more. So it is for me and Brad. We met at Athol Murray College of Notre Dame. It's a boarding school with a great hockey program in beautiful Saskatchewan in Canada. We're both away from home for the first time. Just teenagers, 14 years old, and thankfully we became schoolmates, teammates, and our friendship took off from there. From playing junior hockey for the Rimouski Oceanic, being drafted with the Lightning, winning the Stanley Cup, the World Cup, even a stop in Russia in 2004 lockout, all the way up to the spring of 2008. We literally grew up in this game together. That's why it's my honor to be here tonight for a teammate and a friend. Had he played his whole NHL career in Tampa Bay instead of just half of it, it wouldn't have changed a thing. He's still one of the greatest Bolts ever, whose legacy still lives in the locker room and in the stands to this day.
When you win the Conn Smythe, your skill meets happenstance. You get the bounces, and many more times than not, it means you survived the 2-month gauntlet of the playoffs. It was my privilege to receive this award in 2020. I know I was fortunate. It really belongs to my teammates. Vasi demonstrated the same sentiment in 2021, and so did Brad Richards 20 years ago.
The most valuable player is Brad Richards.
It's an honor to have my name on the same trophies as he does. Because for all of us in our locker room, when you hear the name Brad Richards, or see his photograph on the wall, you think of a champion.
He strikes again!
You think of a consummate professional who draw himself to be a benchmark for excellence.
He thinks, he shoots, he's gone!
A model of consistency, and the epitome of a tireless work ethic.
Richards trying to jam it, he does! Brad Richards!
From his record-setting rookie campaign in 2000 through the 2004 Cup and beyond, along with Marty and Vinny, he formed a trio of forwards that struck fear into the hearts of NHL goalies.
What a goal! A tic-tac-toe play! Score! Yes! He backed it in off Theodore!
And though he only played 7 seasons here in Tampa Bay, he still ranks 6th in all-time assists, 7th in points, and 9th in goals on the Lightning's all-time lists. And his 7 game-winning goals in a single postseason is an NHL record that still stands.
How does that feel? Kipper stop!
That's why it was always an honor for longtime team members like myself and Stammer to play against Brad. Because we knew he was one of the best ever to wear the Bolt. Because he was always part of our family. So on behalf of all of us who wears the Lightning jersey proudly, on the ice and in the stands, Brad, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Lightning Hall of Fame, Brad Richards.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vinny. I know everybody's sick of hearing our friendship, but it means a lot that he was here to give me this a great honor and talk about our long time coming up and growing up in this game. Mr. Vinnick, I know everybody says it, but I think as a player that came here when the Lightning were, I didn't know where I was going when I got drafted. You always dream of drafted to the Leafs or the Canadiens, and I came here and it wasn't that, but I think we grew something, and what you've done for this franchise, the last 6 years, the franchise is I can't imagine any player not wanting to play here in Tampa, and that's just the way it is. I got a 9-year-old that was born in Chicago and lived in New York and all that, but all he does is watch the Tampa Bay Lightning. But it's a testament to what's been on here. It's not just you, it's everybody. it's an amazing franchise, amazing town, and nights like this just show the class, and it's hard to create traditions, but I feel like we've created a lot of things here, and you're a big part of that, and all these players that are keep playing well every year and keep making runs. It's amazing. All my teammates, some of them are here, not all of them are here, but whatever I'm doing, I just love being back with these guys. We talk about stuff. We just feel like we're little kids again when we're together, and we talk about how special. And I would imagine the teams that are winning now in Tampa in 20 years, they're probably sick of our stories. But I told Stammer and Hedmy, they'll be telling the same dumb stories 20 years from now, and those guys will be listening to those stories, and it'll go on and on. But they are. They're just so special, these guys, and I wish, it's weird now we're retired, I wish we would have spent more time together, and I know we did spend a lot of time together, but I wish we spent more time together, because it was so special to go through those periods of our life and have each other's back. I'd do anything again to compete. We're retired and doing other things now, and we always want to come back and do that. But you guys are the best. I'm doing this, but I have great teammates, and we all should be up here someday. Amazing team, amazing run. I want to say, Dave, congratulations again. Your parents, I know they're here. I can't see you. I know we don't do any of this without our parents, and my mom actually decided to steal the show tonight, and I want to thank some doctors here. I know one's here, and for helping out. Tommy Mulligan pulled a hamstring jumping over a couch, so we'll have to treat him later. But thank you for helping my mom tonight. But we need our parents, and I know my dad, biggest fan ever coming here. He's watching over us, but he'd love to be here tonight, and he's so proud of everything here with Tampa. Thanks, guys.
The Bill Masterton Trophy is an NHL award that is given out annually to a player who best exemplifies perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. To date, only one member of the Lightning has ever won this prestigious award, and that is John Cullen. Cully, as he was so well known as, he came to the Bolts in the 95-96 season and was a key cog in the Lightning's first ever playoff appearance. But then, in 1997, John was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma. He courageously fought through 18 months of cancer treatments and made a successful return to the ice on opening night of the 98-99 campaign. It's an inspirational story that still resonates around here today. So please join us as we present the Lightning Alumni Association's John Cullen Courage Award. This is an award that is presented annually. It's presented annually now on this night, this very special night, to an individual who has overcome trying circumstances to continue playing or working in this game that we all love so much. To tell you more about it, from his home in Georgia, please welcome John Cullen.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight. It's an absolute privilege to have this award named in my honor, because I'll never, ever forget how this community rallied around me and my family in a time of great need. As it was for me, and is for many others, when a situation feels like it can't get any worse, sometimes this great game can be more than just a game. It can be a kind of North Star and help guide us to a place of healing, purpose, and peace. And I know this year's honoree feels the same way. His name is Adam Pierce, and this is his story.
Hi, Adam.
Hey.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Adam Pierce and his twin brother Matthew grew up playing hockey together. Both became law enforcement officers. Had you always been interested in a career in law enforcement?
Not always. My father was a law enforcement officer. Initially, I think the excitement that I wanted out of it. But then once I got into it, it was more of like, helping that community that I worked in, because they had put me in a really bad place, but there was good people that lived there. These good people would come to you and tell you, thank you. So it was really, it shifted, once you really kind of got into it.
Did you feel that you were able to make a difference?
Yeah, at the time. I got bad guys off the street.
Can you take us through what happened on Monday, October 10th, 2005?
Sure, yeah. It's interesting when these things happen, you tend not to forget, I remember we had done a traffic stop and he said, hey, he saw some guys, presumably selling drugs over on the same corner that they always sold on. And the guy took off on a bike. I got out on foot and chased him. But I could hear my partner hit him with a taser, and you could hear it going off, it was clacking. But as I approached, I could see that he was getting up. And that was telling me the taser wasn't effective, it wasn't working. And he got up, he started running again. And he took about 2 or 3 steps and then planted his feet and his hands went to his waist. He spun around and he had the gun in his left hand. And as I was running towards him, he aimed it towards my face. And what would have hit me right here in the forehead, I ducked. It's the only thing I could do. I ducked and it went through my hat and put a trough through the top of my head. And I started to fall and he lowered his gun and he tried to shoot me in the top of the head. And it missed, it hit me in the neck. And it went down through my lung, missed my aorta by an inch or 2, struck me at T6 vertebrae, and severed my spinal cord at T7. And then I laid there. Once I got to the hospital, they took me in trauma and had me on the trauma table. The next 4 days were a blur. I knew immediately that something was really wrong. I tried to become okay with that, because what choice do you have? You don't.
So how challenging were those days, weeks, months, years?
We're talking years. It took me 10 years probably, maybe.
2 years after his injury, Adam decided to try sled hockey.
I remember getting out there on the ice it was almost devastating. At the time, a reminder of what I couldn't do anymore. I was going through a really hard time. My wife, Crystal, she encouraged me to get back in this. Just give it another try. Just do it again. She called my brother and said, hey, would you do this with them? And I remember getting back out there and it was totally different. It was, you're not disabled anymore. I was free. Silence. That's the only thing there is when you're out there. It's powerful.
What's your favorite part about it now?
Family. The people. I really found something, and I'm grateful. Very grateful. The sled hockey community is just amazing. I was always a hockey player, I like to say, think. I call it my identity. I'm just a hockey player, that's who I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 2024 John Cullen Courage Award recipient, Adam Pierce. And to present the award, please welcome John Cullen's teammate, Tampa Bay's first 40-goal scorer and all-star, Brian Bradley. All right, time now to get to the induction of our next honoree, and his election to the Lightning Hall of Fame was no doubt preordained, probably from the very first day that he was named the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning. To do the honors, please welcome one of his teammates and a champion from the 2004 Stanley Cup team as well, Freddie Moe Frederick Modine.
First of all, thank you to the Lightning for putting this together. We as the alumni truly appreciate it. It's such a great event for us. Brad, congratulations. Amazing hockey player and even better person. First time I met Dave. And I don't know if this even qualifies as meeting someone, but it was in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens. I was a young prospect, had just finished my season in Sweden, and I got invited to come practice with the team for a couple of days. Dave was a star player on the Maple Leafs. I had gotten up early to make sure I wasn't going to miss practice. I got to the rink, I met with the trainers, they showed me to the changing area, and I started to change into my workout gear. I was super nervous. I was the only one in the room at the time. When I see something out of the corner of my eye, I turn around, and Dave Andreychuk is walking into the room. He doesn't say hi. He doesn't say good morning. He doesn't even look at me. He walks over to his stall, he changes, turns around, and walks out. Completely ignores me. Now, at the time, I thought that this was some really strange behavior. But getting to know Dave, I've come to realize that this was just Dave being Dave. And anyone that has sent him a text message or tried to get him to return a phone call, I think you know what I'm talking about here. Anyways, going back to that locker room 30 years ago now, I never would have thought that 10 years later, our paths would cross again here in Tampa, where Dave, you'd become my teammate, you'd become my captain, and you'd become my good friend. You would lead us on the ice, and you would show us the ropes off the ice. And oh boy, did you show us the ropes off the ice. Truly, Dave, your friendship and your leadership is something that we as a team will always appreciate.
He was an all-star, a veteran of 19 years, one of the highest scoring wingers in NHL history, with a Hall of Fame career in his rearview mirror. There was nothing left for him to accomplish on a sheet of ice, except one thing. Meanwhile, 1,200 miles away, a young hockey team was enduring growing pains. Ownerships were in transition, our franchise was toiling with mediocrity, but a new core of players had begun to emerge. We were raw and searching for an identity. We knew we had talent and skill. We just needed a rudder. We needed a captain. When Dave Andreychuk came to Tampa Bay, he knew he was in the twilight of his career, but he saw something in us, and we saw someone who would instill in us the will to win, and more importantly, what to learn after a loss. Someone to guide us through adversity, and how to summon that extra push when your tank was on empty. Someone to be the first to stand up for your teammates, and why sacrifice spoke volumes. and someone to steer us through every obstacle if we were ever going to reach the top of the mountain. On June 7th, 2004, for nearly all of us, we hoisted the Stanley Cup for the first time in our lives. 20 years later, looking back on it, on what we accomplished, how we turned this town into Hockey Bay, USA, and what the legacy of the first championship means to this franchise and its fans, I'm so proud to have been a part of it. It was a moment frozen in time that we'll always cherish for the rest of our lives. None more so than for the first person to raise the Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay. Dave, on behalf of all of us who walk together forever, thank you for showing us the way, and welcome to the Lightning Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the next inductee to the Lightning Hall of Fame, Mr. Dave Andreychuk.
Whoa, I will say this, that this sure beats the Ukrainian Hall of Fame, huh, Dad? Awesome, right? Just an awesome night. Thank you, Jeff, Steve Griggs, everybody that's put this on, Rachel and John Franzone and the whole production. You know, I'm a small piece of that, and I see what work goes into this night, and I will speak on behalf of everybody here tonight, of all of my former teammates, that we truly appreciate this night, and we, I guess you guys have kind of understood by now, we will definitely take advantage of this weekend. I want to thank my mom and dad. Richie, you mentioned that. Awesome that, you know, we've been on this roller coaster ride. God, it just never ends. It just never ends. It's been such a phenomenal experience for us. My three girls are here from Texas. Love you guys to death. I really do. I wasn't here very long. I signed in 2000. I will say that I'm like the rest of us that signed with this, like, pretty much a shitty team, right? We came here. I came here. I signed in 2000. You know, thank you to Rick Dudley, Jay Feaster, John Tortorella, Craig Ramsey, all knew who I was. Not the guy that had 500 goals, but the guy that, you know, who that person was. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue my career. I believe that the players understand the passion that it takes after 20 years to still not have your name on the Stanley Cup. There is one list that I was the top of. Most games played without winning a cup. It's a one to be on. I'm not on that anymore, thankfully. We talk about being a team, right? Like what the team meant and how a team gets to this level. And I think a lot of guys that you heard tonight, there's an overlying message there about how close we were as a group, right? And not necessarily just us. Wives, staff, the community that we lived in. We were a tight-knit group, and that's all part of it. It's all part of it. We don't get the success as a group if we're not close. And we don't like each other. And we don't push each other. We don't get hammered together. We don't practice. We don't, we do the things that we have to do as players that allow us to grow together as a group. And it was really, really, obviously, as I said, so many good teams I played on. I do remember that speech that John gave prior to Game 7 when, and if you guys remember this, we were in the room and we walked around to all of our Game 7s and, Craig Ramsey, have you been in Game 7s before? Because it's the greatest thing that any player or any kid could ever imagine. Game 7 of Stanley Cup playoffs. It's phenomenal. And I don't think we had a lot of guys in the room that had a very good record in Game 7s. I know Craig Ramsey, I think he won 2 games. I think I was 2-10. And he was kind of coming over to me. You don't want to ask me what my record is. It ain't good. A couple of Final Fours, a few conference championships, 5 lost Game 7s that did not allow me to get to the Stanley Cup. So I probably wasn't the guy to ask, but we got to that point, and now we were all in it together. What is it going to be like? I don't know. I've never been there. I am 1-0 in the Cup Finals, I'll say that. Never been there before. And this group and what happened that year was just phenomenal. What I witnessed as a front row seat, I sat right over there and watched guys give everything they had. Everything was phenomenal. Phenomenal. It was more gratifying than 600 goals and 1,000 points, 1,000 games, whatever the hell, all those records, to watch what that team endured. It was just an incredible experience. And I am so proud to be part of it. So proud to just have that little measly slice that I did to get us to put our hands on that. Some people ask about that run, and they ask me, well, oh my God, you got 600 and something goals, and how many goals do you get in the playoffs? Who cares? Nobody cared. 1 goal is all I scored. Don't matter now. Our names are on it. That's the most important thing. And I will say this, that it is, as a player and as a team and as we have to accomplish this day, to Brad and I and the others that were there, it's tough. Because now you're talking about me personally, or Brad personally, or Richie, or Marty, or even Espo. Like, you're talking personally, and we don't talk in that language. We talk in team language. And I will say, it takes a team to get a jacket. It takes my parents, my kids, my family, my friends, those of you that never even watched me play before that are here tonight. This game allows us to do that. The friends and relationships that we meet along the way are most important. Most important. And I think that this speech is harder than the one that happened in Toronto, because it's personal. It's about this team. It's about what we accomplished. It's about the 380 sellouts. Are you shitting me? It's unreal what this group created and what that group that we watch on TV that is taken to the next level. We should all be very proud that we're in this room. We're all very proud that we're part of Bolt Nation. It's incredible. And I'll end on this, that what we accomplished and how I led you guys, and a lot of you will talk about off the ice, it wasn't done because I don't love you. I love every one of the guys that are in this room, and they've given my family and myself the opportunity to win that. Nothing more can be said. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, my parents, my kids. It's truly, truly an honor to be here today. Thank you very much.
The captain. So, Dave, I'm to assume you're going to enjoy the weekend, maybe have a cold one. You will not be sitting beside Paul Kennedy tomorrow night on TV? That's not happening? All right, fine. Well, what a great night. Another great night here at Amalie Arena, and everyone, that brings our ceremonies to a close. On behalf of everyone at the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Lightning Alumni Association, thank you so much for coming. We'll do this again next year when we embrace the class of 2025. Good night and go Bolts!